Srimad, His Divine Grace Abhay Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki, Vrindavan Dham ki, Mathura Dham ki, Navadip Dham ki, Shri Jagannath Swami ki, Yamuna Mai ki, Srimati Tulsi Devi ki, Samved Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Hare Krishna and good morning to everyone. Good morning. Welcome to all our online viewers also on Mayapur TV and ISKCON Sydney YouTube and other mediums, I'm not quite sure. Welcome to the first day of temple opening, October 18th, fully opened for everyone. It's a very auspicious and a wonderful, exciting time because we've all been waiting so anxiously to see Radha Gopinath and serve him in any way possible. So it is a very good day, and in Sydney it's a very nice and sunny day too, so it's a very beautiful, lovely day. We will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, text number 19. Yes, and the title of the chapter is, let me just take off my glasses, I see it better without, Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nasta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay. Tiryan Manushya Vibhudadishu Jiva Yonishu Atme Chayatma Krita Shetu Paripshayaya Shayaya Reme Nirashta Vishayopi Avaruddha Dehas Tasmai Namo Bhagavate Purushottamaya Tiriyan Manushya Vibhudadishu Jiva Yonishu Atme Chayatma Krita Shetu Paripshayaya Reme Nirashta Vishayopi Avaruddha Dehas Tasmai Namo Bhagavate Purushottamaya Tiriyan Manushya Vibhudadishu Jiva Yonishu Atme Chayatma Krita Shetu Paripshayaya Reme Nirashta Vishayopi Avaruddha Dehas Tasmai Namo Bhagavate Purushottamaya Tiriyan manushya vibudadishu jivayonishu Atme chayatma kritashetu paripshayaya Rime nirashta vishayopi buddhartihas Tasmai namo bhagavate purushottamaya Tiriyan manushya vibudadishu jivayonishu Atme chayatma kritashetu paripshayaya Reme nirashta vishayopi avaruddha dehas Tasmai namo bhagavate purushottamaya Ladies. Tiriyan manushya vibudadishu jivayonishu Atme chayatma kritashetu paripshayaya Rime nirashta vishayopi avaruddha dehas Tasmai namo bhagavate purushottamaya Tiriyan manushya vibudadishu jivayonishu Atme chayatma kritashetu paripshayaya Reme nirashta vishayopi avaruddha deha Tasmai namo bhagavate purushottamaya Okay, word for word. Tiryak, animals lower than human beings. Manushya, human beings, etc. Vibuddha Adishu, amongst the demigods. Jiva Yonishu, in different species of life. Atma, self. Ichchaya, by the will. Atma Krita, self-created. Setu, obligations. Paripshaya, desiring to preserve. Ya, who. Reme, performing transcendental pastimes. Nirashta, not being affected. Vishaya, material contamination. Api, certainly. Avaruddha, manifested. Deha, transcendental body. Tasmai, unto him. Namah, my obeisances. Bhagavate, unto the personality of Godhead. Purushottamaya, the primeval Lord. So we've got the translation and the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, translation. O my Lord, by your own will, you appear in various species of living entities, among animals lower than human beings as well as amongst the demigods, to perform your transcendental pastimes. You are not affected by material contamination. You come just to fulfill the obligations of your own principles of religion, and therefore, O Supreme Personality, I offer my obeisances unto you for manifesting such different forms. So we can repeat, O my Lord, by your own will, you appear in various species of living entities, among animals lower than human beings as well as among the demigods, to perform your transcendental pastimes. You are not affected by material contamination. You come just to fulfill the obligations of your own principles of religion. And therefore, O Supreme Personality, I offer my obeisances unto you for manifesting such different forms. Okay, so the purport. The Lord's incarnations in different species of lives are all transcendental. He appears as a human being in his incarnations of Krishna, Rama, etc. But he is not a human being. Anyone who mistakes him for an ordinary human being is certainly not very intelligent. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, avajananti mam mudha manushim tanum ashritam. The same principle is applicable when he appears as the hog or the fish incarnations. They are transcendental forms of the Lord and are manifested under certain necessities of his own pleasure and pastimes. Such manifestations of the transcendental forms of the Lord are accepted by him mostly to enliven his devotees. All his incarnations are manifested whenever there is a need to deliver his devotees and maintain his own principles. So that's the end of the purport. We'll just do Mangal Charan. So, Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Trubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Bir Krishna Goswami Niti Namne Namo Hamsa Nikashaya Prabhupada Priyate Sudita Shuddhi Nishtavem Tasya Vakyanuvadane. Okay, so this particular shlok here, well, Brahma is actually praying to Lord Krishna, obviously, for his creative energies. But this particular shlok is actually describing certain nature of Lord Krishna. And it is quite an interesting, I was reading up a little bit about it, because it's been a while since I've given a class, right? 6 months. So, in the temple anyway. So, I was reading about it, and there's this, Prabhupada actually said in one of his classes, he said the incarnations of Lord Krishna is even greater than the 8.4 million species of life that we have. So if you can imagine, we all have 8.4 million species of life, different kinds. But his manifestations, his avatars, is basically unlimited, and it is like the waves of the ocean. That's how it's described. He was described as like the waves of the ocean. So anyway, so his incarnations is like we know as Ram, Krishna. But there is much more, many more. And it's described here in the purport that he actually takes incarnation manifestations in practically every species of life. So he might even come as an ant, which we don't know about. Why does he, the question then comes up, why does he do that? Why does Krishna manifest so many times? I mean, if I asked you, would you like to come as a hog? What would you say? No. You'll say no. I would say no. But Lord Krishna, he says yes. Why does he do that? Why does he come as a hog? Why does he come as a fish? Why does he do all these things? So, I was listening to one of the classes, my spiritual master, and he described it very nicely. He said, well, the first principle, obviously, it's written here in the purport that we just read. It's that vinashayatam duskritam, right? He comes to establish religion, right? And highlight miscreants, who have destroyed religion and basically making everybody suffer. And third one is that he comes to protect his devotees. So that yada yada hi dharmasya, that very famous shlok that we read out. So, vinashayata duskritam. So he actually comes to kill and highlight miscreants. That's his favorite pastime. Like if you were to read Lord Krishna's profile in the Facebook, if he had one, he would say, my favorite pastime is to kill demons. That's what he does. He likes to do that, amongst other things. So he likes to do that. But Srila Prabhupada says that he doesn't really need to come down personally to do that. As we all know, he can send somebody down easily, his energies. Like Srila Prabhupada came, when he came to establish the Sankirtan movement, obviously, and he saved the devotees. And Srila Prabhupada did the same thing. So many demons were basically, from demons, they were became devotees. And so he kind of highlighted the demons in a different way. There was no blood. But Lord Krishna can send his representatives down. That's the whole thing, the whole point. So why does he come himself? And then there is this time factor. I mean, the time factor, it destroys all kinds of nonsense also, right? So he doesn't need to come down. Although in the Bhagavad Gita he says, I'm time himself. So he doesn't really need to come down to destroy miscreants and establish religions. He can just send someone like Srila Prabhupada. Right? He doesn't have to. So why does he do it? It's very interesting. I mean, there's a time factor. There's also something very interesting that's going on right now. We all know about it. It's Corona. Corona has destroyed so many people too. And whether we like it or not, we have to see that it is an arrangement by Lord Krishna. How cruel is that? But we know that in the Brahma Samhita, he says, I'm the cause of all causes. So he is the cause of everything, basically. And in the Bhagavad Gita, there is a shlok that I forget, but our brahmacharis will know. But the general meaning is that we see Krishna in everything and everyone. And so those people who remember us, they remember Krishna like that. He's never lost to them, and they are never lost to Krishna, Lord Krishna. Right? So we see everything in connection with Krishna. Everything, even Corona. And those who don't see this as a connection to Krishna, basically are in Maya. Because that means we don't accept Krishna as God. So, to go back, he doesn't need to come to destroy anything or any demons. There's the time factor, there are things like Corona, then there's the representatives of like Srila Prabhupada who come and save the world. So he doesn't really need to come down. So why does he do it? So obviously the main reason is he wants to come and establish religion, all those things we've just discussed. But according to Srila Gurudev, my Gurudev, His Holiness Bir Krishna Maharaj, he says there's an esoteric and an exoteric reason. The exoteric one is the external reason. Esoteric is the internal reason. So Lord Krishna has internal reasons too, why he wants to come down. One of them is to enjoy the rasas. So you might think, well, Corona, is that a ras or something, like those things. one of the reasons that he comes is to enjoy the rasas. It means he loves to have fun. He just loves to enjoy. He's known as Rasaraj. Rasaraj is the king of rasas, right? All kinds of rasas. He loves to. And so then the question arises, if he loves rasas, Rasaraj, well, there's plenty of rasas going on in the spiritual world anyway. Where's the need for him to come down to our planets, right? All the rasas are there. Not all the rasas are there, actually. The 5 principal rasas, that the Sakya, the friendship, the, awe and reverence, parental, conjugal, they are there, the 5 principal. Then there are 7 indirect rasas. And out of those 7 indirect rasas, some of them are not present in the spiritual world. And that one, I think one of the famous ones is called ghastliness. What is ghastliness? Anyone knows what ghastliness means? Sorry, I'm trying to make this a little interactive so people don't fall off to sleep. Yes. Yeah, seeing something horrible and disgusting, gross, as the Aussies would say. It's gross. That's not in the spiritual world. So he comes down to experience those things, and for him it is entertainment. For us it is gross. It's not entertainment, but for him it's really, really fun. And what would be the example of ghastliness is the flowing of blood. That's ghastly. That's yucky. I mean, that we can't see all those things. They have a head decapitated. Or whose head did he decapitate? Like Shishupal in the Rajasuya, he just got his chakra and in front of everyone. He enjoys that. And he can't get it in the spiritual world, so he comes down to have some fun. Which probably means if he comes down as an ant, which we don't have it in our Vedic scriptures, so I can't say that he came down as an ant, but suppose he did. It's probably some pastimes going on in there that he's really loving it. I mean, there's chivalry, there's humor, these are indirect rasas. So he comes to do these things. There's another one that's a fear. It's called fear, out of the 7. He wanted to experience fear because he doesn't get scared in the spiritual world. He's a king there. Everybody loves him. There's no blood in the spiritual world. There's a happiness and happiness and happiness. So when does he feel fear? We're going to have a very special month coming up. Which month is that? Damodar month. And what does Krishna feel in the Damodar month? What's the whole basis? Why did we have Damodar month in the first place? What was the feeling he felt? The indirect rasa, which one was that? With Yashoda Mai. Yeah, he was afraid. He was fearful. He wanted to experience fear. He wanted his mother to beat him, which she did. Chased him with a stick, and he cried. And all the devas, the asuras, everyone was scared. What's happening to our God? He's scared. If he's scared, what's going to happen to us? So, but he actually wanted to. That's the rasa, it's just fun. I mean, there was this story about when these devotees, I forget which particular devotee of Lord Krishna, but he was a deity in the form of a deity, and instead of worshipping him on the altar, they got him at the dinner table, took him out everywhere, and he sat and ate dinner at the table. It was just one of family members. And then one Brahmin came and said, no, this is not right. It's a deity of Lord Krishna. You're not supposed to treat the deity of Krishna like this. Don't sit him at the dinner table. Put him on the altar. Worship there like a proper rituals and traditions. And he scared the family, so then they ended up putting him on the altar, and that night the Brahmin had a dream. Why did you spoil my fun? I was having fun at the dinner table. You just ruined my fun. Put me back. So that's Rasaraj. He enjoys all these fun times. And that's why he comes. He wants to have fun. For us, it's not fun to be disgusted, and see blood. And we do not like fear. Definitely not. We don't like to be afraid. But he likes those things. He's Krishna. Actually, everything, and another thing is that Lord Krishna is a little bit spoiled too. Not a little bit, he's a lot spoiled. He gets what he wants. I want this, and he gets it. Can we do that? I want this, can I have it? Devotees? No. Krishna is never going to give you what you want, unless it's good for your spiritual life. Otherwise, you can't get it. So then the question arises, right? Like in the spiritual world, there are desire trees, right? And there's the Surabhi, Kamadhenu, Surabhi cows, and then every stone is a touchstone, buildings are touchstone. What are all these things? They are desires. You can fulfill your desires. So then you are a devotee in the spiritual world. Do you get everything you ask for? Do you get to enjoy? Maybe, maybe not. But what the devotees over there in the spiritual world do with the desire cows, the desire trees, they actually go and wish to get something to please Krishna, not themselves. So in other words, they don't really do anything for themselves anyway. That's the nature of a devotee. So then what does Krishna give us? I mean, he gets what he wants. What does he give to us? He gives us free will. And the free will is there so that we can actually either surrender to Krishna or we can not surrender to Krishna. Those are the only two things he gives. And then the other thing he gives is according to our karma. So we've done some pious deeds. We can go to the heavenly planets. We can become Indra, we can dance with the ladies or something. Or maybe you become a lady in the heavenly planets and enjoy and dance. So, but then your karma dries up, obviously. You have to come back down. So in those instances, he does give us, certainly. But for a pure devotee or for devotees of Lord Krishna, you do not get what you want. You might want to. I mean, I used to always say, there's a Syamapriya, what's your desire? And I would say, I want a Ferrari. And I don't really want a Ferrari. It's just a joke. He never gave me a Ferrari anyway. He gave me a Nissan Tida. Anyway. That will do, thanks Krishna. But it gets me to classes. Anyway, so he will never give us. But with him, he gets what he wants. So that's the reason why he comes down. We are talking about why he comes down instead of just sending somebody, So he comes to dance, Rasa Raj. He comes to enjoy. And he basically comes to get what he wants. And then he comes to associate with devotees. I mean, the one that we all know is about his avatar as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? As Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to establish the Sankirtan movement, which is what we are doing right now. But that's the exoteric reason, the external reason. But the internal reason was that he wanted to relish Radharani's feelings and love for Krishna. He wanted to enjoy that. So that's why he comes. So that's one of the reasons. And another reason was, another point that was in here was, like Lord Krishna, he's just the one God. I mean, in Brahma Samhita it's quoted. What's that verse? Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. That one. It means that even though he comes in so many avatars or incarnations or manifestations, he's still the same. He's Achyutam. He's still the same. He's the same Krishna, same God. In other words, his potency is so inconceivable, so unlimited. Basically, none of us know him. Anyway, we don't know him that well at all. Even though we talk about him all the time, we talk about his pastimes all the time, but really we don't know him. I mean, he's somewhere in some universe, he is adventing as Lord Ram. So Lord Ram is taking birth. Lord Krishna is taking birth somewhere. And then he's got his spiritual pastimes happening in the spiritual world as Krishna. Somewhere, he's a Varaha. Somewhere he's Matsya. And it's all happening simultaneously at once. And he's the one. He hasn't changed at all. It's Lord Krishna. So that's another thing. Sometimes he has to, if you really look at it, he actually talks to his own incarnations too. Like, for example, what's his immediate expansion? Balaram, yes. Right, Balaram is Lord Krishna. But yet, he talks to himself. He associates with himself. So, and as Balram, obviously there's Yogmaya. So Balram doesn't know, when the interaction is going on, even Lord Krishna doesn't know he's interacting with himself. He loves the rasa so much, he enjoys the rasa with himself. I mean, as Lord Balram, in one of my Gurudev's classes, he had said, Lord Balram, wanted to get Subhadra married to Duryodhan. Right? That was his wish. And Lord Krishna had different plans. So who did Lord Krishna get Subhadra married to? Arjuna. Yeah. And as a Vedic script, Vedic rules and traditions go, as far as those go, Lord Krishna is meant to listen to Balaram because Balaram is the older brother. So younger brother is supposed to, listen to the older brother. He doesn't. He didn't do that. And Lord Balaram got very annoyed because he developed this plan and had Arjun kidnap Subhadra. So there, Lord Krishna is making himself annoyed in that sense, in the form of Lord Balram. Then he goes to Lord Balram and then he tries to tell him, okay, he tries to pacify him and tries to justify. So there is Lord Krishna interacting with himself. That is really interesting too. What is another one that comes to mind where he interacts with himself? There's so many. Oh yeah, there is one pastime of Mahavishnu where he steals. Who does he steal? Yes, babies of the Brahman. So many of them. And then what does Krishna and Arjun do? They go and they go through all the coverings of the material universe right to where Mahavishnu is residing to rescue those children, those babies of the Brahmin. Because if he hadn't done that, then Arjun had very rashly declared that if I can't get your children, then I will enter the fire and kill myself, basically. So Lord Krishna had to save Arjun's life because Arjun could not save the last baby that was born. So they had to go through the material coverings, go to Mahavishnu's abode, and there they got those kids back. And what does Mahavishnu do? Hi buddy, I wanted to see you, and that's why I kidnapped the kids. I wanted to see you. He is Krishna himself, and he wants to see himself. So it's really amazing that the things he does, why he does it, it's an enjoyment for him. The inconceivable energies of Lord Krishna is beyond our understanding. Actually, in that class, Gurudev has mentioned too. He has said that even our single cell is so complex. He was trying to illustrate the inconceivable nature, the potency of Lord Krishna. He said our single cell is so complex that if you put all the cities combined in the USA, all the states, all the cities combined, they hardly even compare to the complex nature of your cell, single cell in your body. That's how great Lord Krishna is. We cannot. So we really can't say that. Gurudev had said he doesn't really understand Lord Krishna at all. If you look at it in that perspective, you don't really know him at all. So that's what he does. He just comes in different manifestations and does his thing, and we just surrender to him. And our duty, basically, our position, because everything is actually for his pleasure. That's what it is. Everything is for his pleasure, and we don't realize that. We are busy chasing our dreams. Whenever you look at those inspirational quotations, never give up. Never, let go of your dreams. You must always, those positive, sessions and seminars, go there, be successful. Remember this, there was this book that was called The Secret. The Secret. What did it mean? What it really basically means is the universe out there can fulfill your desires, can fulfill any desires. Like, when I was actually Gurudev had mentioned this in his class too, but when I was a kid, I wanted the Aladdin's magic lamp, because that was the stories we were told in school. We want the magic lamp, and then the genie comes out and then goes, your wish is my command, any wish you want, make 3 wishes. Basically, that's what we are doing. We want Aladdin's lamp. We want, the book in The Secret. Actually, I was working there, and one of the ladies in my job at my workplace believed in The Secret so much. She had all these pictures on her notice board. It was one of an aeroplane with flying over some kind of an island with a holiday package, and she would look at it every day. And she said, "You've got to look at it every day and meditate on it, and then the universe is going to give it back to you." I cannot imagine how that will work, but they believed in it. Is that really our basic position? No. I mean, you might have, like going back on that, what we just discussed, you might have had some karma, good karma, you might get that holiday, but really it doesn't work like that. So the secret is really not a true secret. It is just a way of making money for someone who's written a book and wants to earn some money on positive reinforcement in everybody's life. And obviously there is no Aladdin's magic lamp. So what is there for us is actually in Kali Yuga. We are born in the Sankirtan movement. We are lucky. What is there for us is the Mahamantra. And why I'm saying Mahamantra rather than saying Lord Krishna first is because Lord Krishna promised that he will be present in the vibration sound of the holy names in the Mahamantra. So, and for this age, and that's all we have really. Basically, we do not have Aladdin's magic lamp. We do not have the secret. What we do have is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's all we have. That's all we have. And while I'm saying that's all we have, it is nothing simple, it's nothing small. It's got all of Lord Krishna's powers imbibed in it, all. The potency of the Mahamantra is something that we cannot even conceive. The potency of the Mahamantra actually will save us in the darkest of hours. At the time of death, that's your darkest hour. What's your darkest hour? That's the time when you die. That's going to be your personal dark hour, is when you die. And what we will be saved by is how many times you chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's going to save you. And after that, obviously, what is the highest pleasure we get? The highest pleasure we get is to serve Lord Krishna. We get some kind of service of Lord Krishna. I mean, the gopis, they used to really complain. They used to say, "Oh, Krishna, we're not satisfied. You're not satisfying us." And Lord Krishna said, "I'm in debt to you. I can't pay you back. You have to be satisfied with your service to me." And that really is the highest pleasure we can get. There's no happiness higher than that. Everything else is temporary. So I might get that Ferrari, but it's going to depreciate. And it's going to go kaput in how many years, It's not permanent. So that holiday package, whatever it was that lady was aspiring for, it's going to last her for a week, 2 weeks, not more than that. So whatever aspirations we have is very temporary. This life is very temporary. And so Narad Muni was saying is the greatest thing that he was surprised by. I mean, he was astonished with is that the people, in the material world, they live like they're never going to die. Although somebody else dies, but they think, "I'm not going to die." That's how we live. We think we're not going to die, but we are. I mean, that's a really sad thing to say on such a beautiful day like today. You're going to die, or we are all going to die. Well, that's the fact. We will. And the only thing that's going to save us is the Mahamantra that we've chanted. the pious deeds. And because the Mahamantra burns up all our reactions and our sins, so whatever sinful activities we've done, basically burnt out, you're not going to get the reaction of it in the next life. So in other words, you're not going to get a next life. Take shelter with the bona fide spiritual master. So I think we are coming to the end of our time. So I hope you have gained something from the class. I know that I have. I was with the Lord Krishna and his nature. His nature is so inconceivable, and the things he does, why he does it. He just loves to play, have fun, and we are his puppets. We are here to please him. We're not here to please ourselves. In any case, if we try to please ourselves, it's not going to work. It's just temporary. So thank you very much for listening. If there's any comments or any questions. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. He does feel some fear because I believe that the Damodar pastime is happening in the spiritual world as well. But there is a difference. According to the class by Gurudev, I'm going to just illustrate another pastime just to explain and make it a bit more clear. Kaliya, when he came to chastise Kalyanag, he had danced on Kalyanag here in the Vrindavan in our planet. And Kalyanag had spit blood. And, he had really, really done a huge job, massive job, dancing on his head. But in the spiritual world, he did the same pastime that's happening there, but he did not, he was not so harsh with Kalyanag, and there was no blood. All he did was he humiliated Kalyanag. He got the blouses of his wives, and he strung them up, put it through the nose, and rode Kaliya like a horse. That's what he did. And he got all the gopis to dance with him on the hood. So the fear factor also, it's there, but it is not there in the fullest form that he would have felt as a baby here. There is a difference, if you can understand what I'm saying, that the gravity, probably the depth is more. It's not so much evident, or not so much in full potency in the spiritual world. So he gets bored with those things. He could easily go and say, okay, die demon, die demon, die demon, demon, demon. In fact, he can say no demons, no demon, no demon, no demon. But he doesn't want that. He's bored with those things. So he comes and goes, die demon with a chakra and cuts. And, he makes those demons. He does it. He has fun. That's his thing. I mean, I can't, even no one can conceive it. Like, what's your fun? I mean, we do things also in that. Like, why do you do the things you do? And if a psychologist was to analyze you, they'll say, okay, well, the things you do is probably back to your childhood, What your mom used to feed you is your favorite dish. So if you go out anywhere in the world, you will want that dish because your mom used to feed you. So it reminds you of home. You do the things you do, but you are slightly different from Krishna. Krishna does things in a big way, and he doesn't like to be bored. In the spiritual world, those indirect rasas are diluted or not so strong. So he wants to, feel really, really energized with his, pastime. So that's why he has to come down and does things the way he does. Any other questions or comments? No? Okay, thank you for listening. Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam Puran ki Jai. everything.